Hello, YouTubers, diecast collectors. It's Jared White, the J-Man 63. Excuse that, my notification just went off. Anyway, if any of my family or relatives are watching this, or any of my would-be fellow collectors out there who are not bots and are respected, highly valued members of my community, and to all my relatives out there, including the youngest siblings of my family, to everybody out there, I want to talk about a subject that I haven't talked about in a long time, and now that it's 2020, with all this stuff going on, with all the deaths going on, with all the coronavirus going on, and thankfully I've dodged quite a few bullets with all the news going on and stuff, but I want to talk about a reality all of us face, and that is what the Grim Reaper always has said in memes, and that you cannot take it with you. So I want to talk about what is a grim reality all of us collectors face, and what do you want to happen to your collection when you're gone? Do you have a legacy to hand down? Do you want to have an estate sale to raise money, or do you want to be like me and just be cremated? Because that's pretty much what I'm going to do. I don't want people to have to pay for a coffin and all that crap. But I hate to talk about this, and I hate to talk about death, but I'm trying to talk about it in the lightest, most positive way that I can. Now, if all my relatives are watching this, and one day when I actually do kick the bucket and this video still remains relevant, and hopefully at the top of my Facebook list, I want to make out virtually said that I do not want my stuff going to hustlers. I don't want it going to an estate sale. I want it handed down to my relatives who will appreciate my stuff. And by the time I kick the bucket, my youngest siblings will probably be in their 20s and about my age, and who will hopefully appreciate cars. And for my youngest siblings, I don't mind splitting my collection up. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind it going to the people who will value it the most. Besides that, I've led quite a legacy in collecting. I can see this video has already got a like, and I hope it's not a bot. I hope it's a respected member of the community that's actually liking this video. It's probably Cinny or somebody like that, I'm guessing, the wannabe friends guy, but I just don't interact with them. But to all my fellow subscribers who are not spamming me, who aren't trolls, thank you so much for sticking on with me. I have 695 now. I'm trying to get to 700, but I think most of those are probably just as bots trying to spam my channel, and I'm not really acknowledging him at all. And in fact, I think my spam filter is kind of caught up with his comments and has been removing them altogether, which is good. So I'm thinking that has caught up. Real dude here. I feel the same way about this topic and my vinyl records, CDs, and more. That's cool, man. Yeah. I mean, likewise, dude, I just don't want my crap going to some hustler. I mean, because it's often said that usually when people hit, like, anybody who were to hit a collection as big as mine, and you actually do look like a real commenter, my friend. So thank you so much. This is the first comment my live stream's gotten in a while that hopefully is not a bot. But like I said, I talk about this because this is like basically a virtual testament and will to my collection, basically, with all the deaths and going on and the grim realities of the news and stuff. I'm 29 years old now, and for me, it's time to start thinking about, what am I going to do when I'm gone? What am I going to do when my collection passes on? What am I going to do when my stuff goes? And understandably, a lot of people do not appreciate the same stuff I do, and they don't appreciate the same stuff I collect. So what's to say that that's to stop people from having an estate sale and having things sold off? I mean, I think my most treasured possession in my collection is my signed General Lee that I have. And if you haven't seen that video, check it out. I don't have editing software just yet, and I can't really put like the videos in there, but it's in there in my top 10 videos. But anyway, the General Lee that I have is, yes, I hate them. They're the ones, yeah, they're just trying to get money off you, man. I mean, hey, if you like CDs and vinyl, man, that's your thing. That's pretty cool. And Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of stuff too, and I have about 10 years worth of collection in the whole house to show for it, as me and my friend always joke about. But, you know, it does add up quick. And when you have, as you've seen on videos in my past, as a collection as diverse as I got in my house, then, you know, you don't just want to hand it off to some hustler. You don't just want to hand it off to some person trying to make a quick buck off you. Like I said, you probably got in the background right here, I'm going to say about roughly $300 worth of bikes, I would say. Yeah, those ain't going anywhere. Those are probably going to stay with me for a long time. I mean, I probably will never get rid of those because I grew up on Orange County choppers. So, wow, this video gained 2 views already. Geez, we're getting some steam here. So, yeah, like I said, whatever it is you guys are planning to do with your collection when you're gone, my thing is I like the idea of handing stuff down to my relatives. That's my premise of things, and that's the way I see things, because I've collected everything from metal signs to hubcaps. I've been just about everywhere in Hampton and Newport News to go collecting, and it's been quite a journey to get my place to the state of the way it looks now, but it didn't happen overnight. It took since last August when I moved in to get to this state, and it's still a work in progress. And, you know, I mean, if you enjoy collecting, enjoy collecting. Don't enjoy trying to get the money out of it and profiting off of people who have passed away. I mean, for me, I'd always go to estate sales, but it was never to look for a quick buck. I was looking for stuff to buy it to keep it usually. And whenever I'd go to yard sales, I was looking for things to keep it, not monetary value. I mean, when I go to yard sales, I look for keepers. I'm not looking for resale. But I did make a video if you do want to try to make profit off that stuff. But it ain't all about that. It's about the hobby and having fun and being a collector and stuff. So some people may consider my collection extreme. Some people may consider it overkill. Then again, I mean, there's gun collectors that have like 30 or 40 AK-47s. So, I mean, I don't know. But and one day when I'm gone, where's it all going to go? So I think handing it down to relatives who are like 8 or 6 now, and by the time 30 or 40 years on down the line, you know, I'm handing this stuff down to my relatives. That's what I'm doing. So if y'all are watching this and for some odd reason, yeah, I hope so, man, because, yeah, it's all about that, you know. I mean, unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that has been forgotten. I mean, the old red lines and stuff, which I one day want to get. Everyone remembers red lines. Everybody played with them, and now half the time you see red lines mostly destroyed. But what I like is the people who actually restore them and paint them up and make them look nice. So I like the, if y'all ever follow the channel, check out Redline, I think called Redline Restoration or something. There's a few Redline Restoration channels out there, and really to watch people spray the paint on these old Hot Wheels and just deburr the metal and do all this stuff is really an art form to watch, because if you think about it, these are cars that were destroyed, blown up with M80s and stuff, and things that kids play with in the sandbox and didn't really appreciate. But, you know, I really like the people who dedicate their investment and money into restoring red lines. And I saw one guy who was so dedicated to it, he actually had a rock tub that vibrated and could polish the metal to that Spectra Frost finish. But I really do salute those guys, because they're spending a lot of money to do that. They are really spending a lot of money, and you have got to have a setup to do all that. So I really do hats off to you guys for doing the Redline restoration. At least you guys are keeping that great era of Hot Wheels alive. Yeah, they're not as worth as the original 16 if they're in mint condition, but at least you guys are keeping it alive. I kind of go off on that tangent there to say that because that's something that a lot of us have forgotten about what original Hot Wheels were like. We see the straight axle cars now. We don't remember what the original Hot Wheels were like. And thankfully now Hot Wheels, if you're part of the Red Line Club, has brought back a lot of the original style with the what do you call that? With that suspension, that double suspension. They brought that back now, and of course, you're probably going to be a lot more expensive to go through the club. I mean, of course, it's probably still expensive to get an original Red Line, but one thing I would love to purchase if I had the space, and I didn't even buy it because it was too much money. I mean, and I have a problem. I know I got a problem, but I wanted to get the original Hot Wheels Sweet 16 50th anniversary collector's set, but that was a little rich for my blood. Even though I'm a collector and I have a bit of a problem, I have a limit, and yeah. So a lot of people might be wondering, what's the next thing I'm chasing on the internet? Because I'm always chasing something on eBay. I think the next thing I'm probably going to try to chase down before old Jesse James kicks the bucket, before he goes, I'm going to try to get penny saved, because if y'all aren't familiar with Motorcycle Mania and y'all haven't been living underneath a rock, no offense to anybody who is doesn't like Jesse James based on his past history with Sandra, but I like his craftsmanship. I've seen the guns he makes, the Damascus. I've seen his craftsmanship, and it's amazing. I don't know what you mean, man. You're saying but despite what people think about Jesse James, despite what people have an opinion, I like his craftsmanship. He really is an amazing craftsman. He really does a good job. He has a bad attitude. He doesn't have the best attitude, but if you had that level of skill, be it not all people who have that level of skill are all cocky. I mean, you have Chip Foose, which he's an amazing craftsman too, because I mean, I idolize Chip Foose. I mean, hello. Almost my entire room is dedicated to him. Yeah, he is a bit, but I definitely want to get penny saved. That is the next thing I'm chasing, and I'm looking at one on eBay right now for 150 smackers. And yeah, some people may think that's ridiculous. Well, I think what some people do spend their money on can be ridiculous. Everyone has their vice. But the thing is, I have a space for that bike that is going to go somewhere. So if you don't have a space for it, don't buy it. That's what I say. If I do have a space for it, it's going right there. That's where penny saved is going to go. Now, yeah, I'm definitely going to be putting that in my collection. Now, what else am I chasing? Oh, I got a few things. I'll put it this way. I'm just making a list out there so you all know. Because this is the next stuff I think about collecting, and I definitely want to get that Gambler 514. M2 Machines has come out with that 124 scale, which it's about time they did something with the 71 Mustang casting. And I'm not really usually a big fan of M2 Machines, but I might be purchasing the new Foose Gambler 514 if the money is right and when I do get an eBay card, which will probably be tomorrow, because I'm looking at making a major... I don't want to spoil too much, guys, because I do have a channel. I do like to keep things a surprise. I do like to keep my mail calls a surprise when I do my mail openings and crap like that. But I'm looking at an $800 eBay purchase, and some might find that outlandish, and I haven't spent money like that on diecasts in a long freaking time. And there's people who are going to spend a lot more on, I said moron, who are going to spend more on the GMP stuff and the higher end stuff. But, oh, I mean, everyone's got their limit. I mean, but, you know, yeah, eBay is kind of a make or break thing sometimes. I definitely am guilty of the Amazon shopping, but I haven't really looked on eBay. There's a few Hot Wheels 100% sets I'm thinking about chasing after that I'm definitely looking at. The old Larry Wood stuff. That's definitely another part of my hot rod room. And if I do get anything, keep in mind that if I do buy anything, I'm going to have a space for it and a spot for it to go in. And it's not just, yeah, that looks cool. If I'm going to buy something, I want to get something I've been chasing. Like, I'm probably spoiling this for everyone who are watching my channel, but I definitely want to get the new Auto World dragsters, and I definitely want to get a few new Auto Worlds in my collection because my Walmarts have been neglectful on restocking the Auto World, and that's probably one of my favorite manufacturers besides Greenlight. And I am a huge Greenlight fan, but ever since TRU's kicked the bucket, I haven't been able to find any. So normally I just go with Auto World or Johnny Lightning. And luckily, if you're in the know about collecting and you are a Johnny Lightning fan, Ollie's usually gets a lot of Johnny Lightnings in if you are a collecting fan. So I would say go there first and then resort to eBay if you can't find the Racing Champions or Johnny Lightnings and stuff. But I would definitely say that in terms of motorcycle craftsmen, I would say Jesse James ranks up there pretty good in all the stuff he's done. Like, I mean, despite what people might think of him, and he is a controversial figure, I grew up on Monster Garage, actually, which is funny. So I definitely grew up on that show. I mean, I have the Wedding Chapel on wheels, and I have the Lawnmower Mustang. So I have two of those in my collection. I'd like to get the larger ones, but I can't find them. And I don't think it would go, I don't know. But if I were to get them, they would have to be pretty low price for me. And the way the market's gone on a lot of Jesse James stuff, they've gotten higher price. But if I'm going to get something, I would much rather get penny save for sure. But all the muscle machine stuff of his is definitely going up. You look at the 1/64th and the 1/18th scale bikes that are out there, they're definitely going up in price. And a lot of this stuff is these OCC bikes behind me. Like, I remember like, I remember when I was in high school at the age of, say, 18 or 19, and I was, or I'm trying to think if I was near high school age. But I remember when I would beg my mom, absolutely beg my mom, to buy me crap off eBay. And I think I had an allowance, an account where I would help around the house and I would do stuff. I earned points. We had a system in place. I mean, I never had any money when I was in high school, so whenever I would get any free money, whenever I would get any money in job coaching or anything like that, what do you think I spent it on? Yeah, I was a bit spoiled growing up, but I had a good collection. I had a good room for it, and eventually ran out of room, and now I have a whole house dedicated to it. But anyway, I don't just collect die casts. I collect all kinds of things. I collect mugs. I collect drink coasters that I think are cool, even though I'm the only guy living here. Hey, I still want to have something in case somebody comes over and decides they want a cup of coffee, and I don't want them to screw up the table. And if I have a party, I want enough coasters for guests. So, and I even made my own wine cork coasters. And if you haven't seen the DIY video on how to do that, you should probably check it out because there's some pretty cool ways to make coasters out of wine corks. There's a lot of useful uses for them. So just look up wine cork hacks. You'll know what I mean when you see it. But anyway, that's what I like to do, though. That's another hobby of mine besides collecting is just decorating, getting this whole place done. That's been my whole vice lately. So, and like I said, I go back to coronavirus, but this decorating thing, that's the only thing that's kept me sane. Having these employment, having being paid off the government, stimulus money, that's the only thing that's really keeping me sane. Doing these unboxings for you guys is the only thing that keeps me going. So, at least somebody's commenting now that's not a bot, which I appreciate. So thankfully that is good. I understand all your comments, sir, and I do acknowledge you there. But like I said, I mean, it all boils down to what do you want done with your collection when you're gone. I mean, I've got stuff that is worth hundreds, if not $500. Like I think the highest value item I have is my signed General Lee. And that, I don't know. I might decide to get buried with that. I really might. I don't know. It might seem weird to some people to get buried with a die-cast card, but if I get buried with one of my die-casts, I want to get buried with my General Lee. I'll put it like that. Yeah, I mean, that's a card that, I don't know. It's special to me. Now, I want to know, what is the most special piece in your collection? What is the highest value piece you have? Whether it be CDs, vinyl, whatever, give me a shout and let me know what's your most valuable piece you got. Like I'm acknowledging you. If you're a album collector, one of the more valuable records to collect is the Beatles' Butcher album. And if you are a record collector, I'm pretty sure you know why. Because that album, when it came out with the baby parts, was very controversial. So look up the Butcher album and see what that's going for, by the way, dude. But yeah, collecting, I think it transcends all kind of things. And I've gotten a bit more into like the superhero thing here and there a little bit. I've kind of edged a little closer to it. Like I do Avengers stuff every now and then, mix it in a little bit, but I'm not as big of a superhero fan. I'm definitely more into Transformers than I am the superhero genre. I know a lot of people are probably gonna crawl over me in the comments. So that's the worst movie ever. I love the Transformers movies. I don't care what people say. I really do like the new action Transformers movies. A lot of people hate them. A lot of people hate on the new Transformers. I like them. So that's a lot of people's opinions. Oh, well, that's theirs. But I do like Transformers. If I got back into collecting one thing besides this stuff, and it ain't Funko Pops, because I hate Funko Pops. And as you all know, I hate to go off on tangents when I'm making my videos, but I find it appropriate to keep continuing on and make a nice long live stream. These are the only Funkos I have. These are the only Funkos I like, and I keep them by my desk because they are my favorite, and they stay in my hot rod room. Because I have a PC in here, and that's basically what this movie centers around, being inside a computer. So that's the only Funkos I own. I'm not a big Funko fan, and I think the Marvel Avengers heat-sensing coffee mug I have is a Funko product, but I just don't collect much Funko stuff. I don't like the chibi stuff. As much as I wasn't a fan of my ex-mentor, I definitely am with him on the Funko thing. I'm not into that kind of thing. I'm definitely into more, I would say, wow. Yeah, I'm reading your comment right now about, I'd say first pressing Grateful Dead. Yeah, that's funny. My dad is an absolute deadhead. Yeah, he loves the Grateful Dead. That's pretty cool. I'm just reading your comment right now, man. I'm actually interacting a little bit with you, man. Wow, they're worth over. That's pretty cool, man. At least you got something that's a legacy, man. I see that you said, I'd say my first pressing Grateful Dead, Working Man's Dead, or Wolfpack Blackpool 7-inch. Also my autographed record by Kendrick. Wow. Dude. Yeah, man. When you got to pass those on to somebody, they're going to get some cool stuff. Those are neat, though. Yeah. I'm not a record collector. I definitely listen to more YouTube and MP3s on my soundbar and stuff, but that's definitely cool. Um, Records are a cool thing, man. I mean, their vinyl is definitely coming back into style. I'm sure if I really wanted to and I wanted to dedicate some space, um, I mean, I like metal and stuff, so I'm pretty sure I could get a USB turntable and hook it up to my soundbar if I wanted. Thanks, your collection is. Oh, yeah. Don't I know it? Yeah, well, I've been doing it for quite a while, and I have quite a bit of knowledge, my friend. Um, More knowledge than most, and definitely um, enough knowledge to be relatively dangerous. I mean, I don't know as much as some collectors do. Like, I'm not, I'm not as into it as some of the modern day Hot Wheelers, like those people who are there, say, when the trucks unload and are waiting on the latest treasure hunts. I'm not that addicted. I mean, if I really want to chase something that badly, I'm going to go after it on eBay. And yeah, everybody has a good collection if they've done it for about 10 years. I've done mine since 2010 and since I was in high school, and that was probably the thing that got me through high school the most was doing this. And every summer I worked and summer job coach for my money, and every red dime of it got spent on a lot of stuff, a lot of eBay. And I'm not going to lie, when I was in high school, I didn't have jobs. So whatever money I had went into my collection. So that's probably why I wound up with so much now. And like I said, my thing is I just want to pass it on to my relatives. That's my thing, because when my cousin Jessica, when her kids, they're like 4, 5, and 6 now, I think 7, I'm not sure, but once her kids get to be my age, I'm going to be like 40 or 50. So by the time then, I might be ready to hand them down to them one day. So I think that my youngest relatives, my youngest siblings, are probably going to wind up getting my stuff. That's my legacy I want to do, because I look at it as this. My friend Don said the same thing I did, and I'm saying the same thing he does. I have a legacy, and that's what I've led my whole life. And I've worked too freaking hard to get this crap, and I've worked too hard. I worked my rear end off too much to get this crap, whether it be what I bought off of eBay with money from the government, or whether I work for it or not. I've worked too hard to get this place in shape, and I've already worked too hard to get this whole thing in order. And it's just funny because I just saw a meme that says, yeah, I'm going to be real pissed if 2020 and the world ends and I have my crap together. And I pretty much feel the same way, man. I am going to be pissed if the world ends, but well, if it does, I'll be doing it in style, and yeah, I'll be riding it out in style. So, oh well. It's funny, though. Every time my friend Parker and I call him and I make a new addition onto my crib, he's like, man, he's like, you don't even own a car, and yet you still have your crib decorated with license plates out the wazoo. And he just jokes me as well as like, my dad passed some of his records down to me, the legacy hat. Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, dude. I know what you mean, bro. Got to continue the legacy. Keep it in the family, man. That's my advice to anyone who has anything that's worth keeping in the family. I mean, yep, definitely, bro. I hear you out there. Like I said, keep it in the family, man. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I got so much stuff that is, I mean, I really probably am sitting on a gold mine. Yeah, I mean, I hate to go into my entire collection piece by piece, but my Big Daddy Don Garlett's dragster that I paid $25 for when I was in high school is going for at least $100 online, and not to mention my twin mill car by Hot Wheels Legends. That 124 scale and 164 scale goes for anywhere from 150 to 200. Some people have actually gotten that on eBay. So if you look at my twin mill review, which probably has, I think like 1,500 views, something like that. If you check out my twin mill review of that car, it's pretty popular. So, and what a lot of people don't know, the twin mill was one of the most popular life-size Hot Wheels. Been changed a few times, but when I had to go back to the twin mill, I still wish they had those flame pattern treads on there. They changed out the wheels. So if you look at the new modern twin mill, I definitely much prefer the older version when it was first came out in green. So I have the version that has 1/24 and 1/64. I think I have the psychedelic relics. I think the only thing I'm missing in the only thing I'm missing is life-size twin mill or a quarter scale twin mill, because I've seen somebody's man cave with one of them. But I'm just curious. I want to look it up. I'm curious what the most expensive item. I'm curious what the most expensive item in twin mill is. I'm very curious. Okay, yeah, obviously the Legends to Life twin mill is going to be the most expensive. So yeah, I see that. But I had the Legends version, and if you look at the price of that, Legends twin mill, it is going. People are asking. I don't know if they're getting that, but they want 180 smackers for that thing. The best price on it is like 122 bucks, I think, and I think $104 is like the lowest that it goes for. I'm looking at here on eBay. And I don't know if this has people watching it, but it's a pretty pricey item if you can obtain any of the Hot Wheels Legends line. And I would definitely say, if you watched my review, get those while you can, because when they came out, they weren't nearly the price as what they were going for now. So look up the Hot Wheels Legends. Oh, wow. I really wish I kept the box for that one. I'm looking at the Psychedelic Relics one right now with the Red Baron and twin mill, and people are asking 74 bucks for that. Geez, when I was in high school and I had that, that was like the first Hot Wheels 100% set that I got, and I think it was going for real cheap back then. That's funny. It really has gone up in price, man. Wow. Oh, geez. I'm just looking at twin mills all over the place on here on eBay. That's funny. They actually have a Monster Jam twin mill. That thing's ugly. Don't like it. Yeah, I have a certain taste in what I like and what I don't like. So there's certain things I do like. There's certain things I don't like. I'll put it like that. Every collector has their own thing they're into. But if you do have the means, I highly recommend picking that one up, that twin mill set for sure, because that's a really nice piece. And Hot Wheels does not make them like that unless you get into the Elite and Super Elite. And that's 1/18th. That's not 1/24th. I don't know if... Actually, I'm curious while I'm on here, and while I have you guys these ears for a moment, I'm just curious. Elite. I'm curious. They make. I'm just curious if their 1/24 scale line is dead or not. But I mean, yeah, if you look at that twin mill, it's about the same level of detail as one of those Franklin Mints or Danbury Mint cars that you see. So if you see the Hot Wheels twin mill, or any of them for that matter, definitely pick it up for sure. It's one of those pieces that is definitely one to get. A friend of mine, my friend has one that's actually autographed by the designer of twin mill and the split and image Era Guilford, which is really cool. So yeah, if you ever get the chance, I would love to get some of my Hot Wheels stuff autographed by Larry Wood and Era Guilford and stuff. That would be really cool. That's actually a dream for me. Let me see. Hate to go, man, but it was nice to tune in. Hope you have a good rest of your day, Usher. Thanks, bro. Always good to have you. Thank you for tuning into the live stream. Definitely glad to have you, man. I'll definitely acknowledge you. I'm sorry I rambled on, but like I said, we all need a legacy, and at some point when we're gone, we all have got to hand it down to somebody. And depending on who gets it, you know, I mean, to me, it's not about the monetary value. It's all about the person that is actually getting the stuff from me and not going to resell it. So that's just my advice to collectors. People are always asking that question. What happens to your collection when you're gone? Well, it's true. You can't take it all with you. So, you know, what do you do with it? My whole premise is I'm going to probably hand it down to people. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys. And y'all keep it under 100 and have a good one. And keep collecting. Rock on. Bye.